Alright, in this video I'm just gonna sketch full of Lamborghinis in one page. It will be no editing, no polishing, just a raw process, and I'm gonna talk about it while I'm sketching. So let's jump into it. It will be an unedited, rough, raw sketching progress. Like, honestly, I was just planning to sketch as I do more or less every day, and I decided to record today. So you will also see my thinking process. I decided to sketch a Lamborghini, or maybe like we will fill up the page. We will see how it goes. And the reason is, first of all, I realized I sketch a lot of Porsche nowadays, so let's make a change. And I love the Murcielago. Murcielago, I don't know how to pronounce properly, but it's an amazing car. It reminds me of my childhood. I love the proportions, I love the feeling. It's a very emotional car for me. And I will not sketch directly it, but I want to capture this Lamborghini feeling, Lamborghini proportions. And when I was studying in SPD, we had a Lamborghini collaboration. And there we had Lamborghini designers visiting and giving us feedback on our project. And one of the sketches I got from one of the designers was this, like he sketched, and you can see official Lamborghini sketches. The wheels are huge. And then we have this single line silhouette. Like one line continues until the end of the car, until the end of both ends. And when you put the wheel, in reality, it's of course not that huge. Almost the roof line is lower than the wheel on the sketch. Maybe it was even more exaggerated than this, but I tried to keep it a bit more subtle. And this already gives me, for example, the Lambo feeling, because the cabin is definitely, like if this is the half of the wheelbase, the cabin, the peak point is more on the forward side. If you look at this Murcielago, I would say maybe a little bit on the forward. And that's at least the feeling that I get from these. Maybe here when I look, it's more or less on the half, this breaking point. But I want to exaggerate it more on my sketch. So I pushed it even further. And the cabin would end up somewhere around here. Of course, we like the air intakes. Like if I go like Murcielago, there would be like one air intake here, another one here. And the shoulder line, very high shoulder line going to the front. And we have the front wheel arch. And this is the nose of the car, and this is the rear end. So this already gives me the Lamborghini feeling. And it's not like focused on a project or focused on being super creative at the moment. As I said, it's like a free time sketching. And that's how it goes. The rims are tricky part, like depends on how much detail you want to put, of course, but I generally leave the rims very roughly, maybe like this. Or what I really enjoy is I put just triangles on the spokes because it looks a bit more bulky, adds a little bit more graphical impact to the rims. And it's quite simple to do. Like here I have 6 spokes. So I just basically put one triangle to each connection point. And here we go. Maybe here, something like that. It's a bit more like Gallardo style. Like after this, it might be more fun to play with the details or the graphics. For example, I can do a shading like this to show that the wheel is outside of the side and the surface is going inside a little bit. And then goes more flat, and then also on the front a little bit outside. So this gives me the understanding for the side surface. And here we have an air intake. Maybe somehow I can connect it with this rear light ending. Maybe I can do like this, because the line continuity is quite important. It helps your eye to follow the car, like the give connection, relationship between the lines. It makes it more tidy and clean design. So this might be already a nice sketch. Let's say a warm-up sketch maybe. Why I do this kind of sketches is, first of all, I enjoy doing them. Secondly, it helps me maybe like warm up for the real project I'm doing, or just let me productively procrastinate. So rather than like doing what's really important, I just do a sketch because I enjoy, and it's a procrastination, but at least it's productive because still I'm doing something related to car design, related to my job. So I'm adding some details a bit darker, so this adds contrast to the overall sketch. Here I can do very light hatching. Here we go. So for example, this might be already one sketch. And I can do another one, maybe a little bit more different. This one looks like a lot Murcielago Gallardo, like early 2000s era of the Lamborghini. Maybe we can go a little bit more extreme version. This time let's do 5 spokes. And maybe I want a little bit more stretched lines and a bit more sharper approach. And still keeping the single line idea, the wedge shape. And here, you know, like Revo Alto has this zigzag. I want to do something different. Maybe like a big triangular intake here. Or maybe, let's see, just at the end it's a fun personal sketch, right? So let's go crazy. I will do one single line here. It can be like an air intake like that, and another one here. And we push the greenhouse a little bit forward. And here, maybe I have a negative surface like this. And here, another breaking point. Maybe like a cover. This can be like another piece that's covering this intake. Like negative surface, positive surface, and on top there's, let's say, a carbon fiber piece here or something. And here I have 2 intakes. I can add some contrast here. And for example, this sketch, now I don't need to finish the front, the rear, all the details. The point of this sketch to me is finding the ideation on this side. So that's like one of the important tips for your sketches. This is already good enough to me. Like this is a done sketch. Like it's not finished sketch, but it's also finished at the same time. I don't know if it makes any sense, but it's not finished in terms of like all the details are visible and so on. But it's finished because the goal of the sketch was finding an idea on the side, and I did. So if I want, I can again add some more details, but in my opinion, it's not mandatory. Also for your like projects, for your portfolio, this is like the moment that you got it, you got the idea. So when you develop the idea further, you can take it, put it on Photoshop or on Viscom or on 3D, and you can just continue it. So now let's say I want to sketch something not side view, or we can only go side view on this page maybe to fill it up, or let's have fun. Let's see. So I'm gonna put like maybe the rear view here. If you are struggling with the basics of sketching, I have my online course at berkaplan.com that I focus on the proportions, the perspective, and the basics of sketching, as I said. And I'm planning to update all my courses this year, at least like the sketching and the Blender beginners, because they're a little bit, it's been a while that I recorded them, so they need a little bit of update. And if you purchase them already, you will have all the updates for free, of course. So you already see the, let me check on the camera, you already see the perspective and the proportions of the car. And now, after I constructed this angle, I can add more details. Depends on my message on this sketch. As we did here, it was the side view. Maybe here now I will focus on the rear lights area. It's pretty straightforward actually, because I have quite limited space on the back, and I want to go with more sharper type of headlights, rear lights. The first thing comes to my mind is like this simple rear light, but it's a little bit maybe too boring, too ordinary. So I'm thinking, what else can it be? Maybe we can add some smaller light here. So also the other one on the other side. And it can be even actually a spoiler coming out of this, but also a light, I don't know, like This is the ideation. Here I can add some more emphasis to the diffuser area. Maybe some exhausts. And this again gives me this nice sketchy feeling already. Not nice sketch, it's a nice sketch, not a sketchy feeling, but not like an illustration that I do all the details. So let's put maybe a different type of intake here. But again, I'm not going much into details of the side because this sketch is more rear perspective, so it makes more sense to focus on the rear of the car. I was thinking that I did a couple of real-time sketching videos, so why to do more, because it's like repeating myself. But what I see from your comments, your feedback, is you enjoy it. And it's not like a repetition because I'm not drawing the same car every time. And I think even if it's repeating myself, I guess it's still helpful. So please let me know what you think about that. It motivates me, your thoughts. So let me know on the comments if you enjoy this or not. Here I will make it darker, the diffuser area. And we have a rear perspective. Am I using the paper efficiently? I mean, I don't think so. If you wanted to be very organized, you would do more division on the paper and so on. But I find it more creative flow. So now I see this area is empty. Let's see what we can do. For example, I can focus on a front view, like directly front, but I know that I want to do it super symmetric. And that's why I'm okay to focus on one side more than the other one. Like right now, I'm thinking about an air intake on the bumper. This is like the bumper area. And here I would have the front muzzle, the other side front muzzle. You see already this center line is not on the center, so I need to push things a little bit away. And the greenhouse, the windshield, when you look at the front, you have this angle on the side of the greenhouse. And here might be the nose of the car. So we can even put the logo here. This would be the wheel. And I like, if you make the camera more orthographic, you would even see the rear shoulder. It's like exaggerated version. You know, I can even see the rear shoulder when I look at the front of the car, because rear is wider and bigger. So this is very cool effect on the sketch. Let's put the nose a little bit sharper like that. And the headlight. I start with a line. Maybe, let's say it's 3 lines only. Kind of like retro. Simple lights there. I don't know. And let's sculpt a little bit more the air intake. So as you see, we have like a surface treatment going on there. And again, sharper. Here maybe it's totally open. You know, we have only the front splitter here. A bit like the snake teeth, like the Aventador or the modern Lamborghinis. And under this, it's maybe just a big air intake. And this is like, I didn't think about this before. Of course, I sketched Lambo before, so it's not the first time I'm doing Lamborghini sketch, but this is like how the natural ideation is happening. It's totally happening right now, spontaneously. It's not like I scripted or anything. So you see, you experience everything in the moment. Maybe we can have like a little blade on the rear shoulders, or maybe a full spoiler. And I can add a bit more like bonnet treatment here. Okay, reminds me a bit of Corvette now, the new Corvette C8. So it's C8, right? I hope I'm not making a mistake. But actually the Corvette started to look like Lambo. It's not that Lambo started to look like Corvette. Alright, I have to mention because we are talking about sketching, and if you are a beginner, if you are not confident with sketching, you can learn from my own online course. I cover the basics like perspective, proportions, the line weight, line quality, all these things. In this video, I'm more focused on the idea, but if you want to go deeper and learn the basics, I highly recommend my course. I'm gonna update it this year. I will add more materials into the course, and it will be of course free. So you can join it today, right now, to get more confident with your sketches. Alright, back to the video. Okay, when we mentioned that, maybe, let me see how many, it's been 15 minutes we are sketching. It's cool. What if we had a GT type of Lambo? Let's experiment now. Let's getting a bit more into different direction. There was Asterion, I think, when I was a student. I remember that. I think it was an experimental concept to make GT form of Lambo. Actually, my colleague, my friend from studies, Alexander Krupa, he's now designer at Lambo since we graduated. And his graduation project, I don't remember the details, but I remember there was a big triangle, I guess. I don't remember, anyway. But he had a GT type of Lambo, and it was pretty cool. So I think it's worth to try different ideas sometimes. Like, okay, Lamborghini is the wedge shape, the first thing comes to mind, but they even have Urus now, so why not to try a GT body type? This kind of questions, like what if moments, might help also, like opening new doors for your project. So what I did is basically the silhouette of the car is now following the GT, like the cabin is not on the front but on the back, and we have a longer bonnet. So automatically, actually it's like Miura or the previous Lambos. So when we think about Lambo, we think about the wedge shape, but before Countach, it was not the wedge shape. So automatically the engine is on the front now, or the front middle. So we have the more air intake impact on the front. It doesn't have to be, of course, but just to give reasoning to your air outlet here is because we have a huge engine, I can say. Because on the other ones, I put it on the back because the engine is on the rear or in the rear middle. So it can also be reasonable. Of course, there are complex systems. You can put the air intake here, but you can cool down the front, or they can go many different places, and aerodynamically they can also have an effect. However, for the general, the first thought would be like connecting the technical package to your details. Here we go. Okay, this sketch also like good enough for me. What else? Maybe like another, I don't know, we have side views. I can here add like a rear view of this GT maybe type of thing. Like this line is here, the rear end. And then I'm adding this diffuser area, maybe something like this, just roughly at the moment to put the angle and the proportions correctly. I don't have enough space on the front to fit, and anyway I want to focus on this rear end of the car, so I will not worry about it. Maybe I will make like a flat ending and then going sharp. I don't know. I'm just searching for different lines here. Maybe this Y shape, the arrow shape, rear light, but also some extra details. Honestly, not bad. Very sharp negative surface happens. And then the diffuser, let's exaggerate it even more. Maybe something like that. And let's make more squarish rectangular exhaust pipes. I'm not even sure if it's visible which part I'm sketching, like which part of the car it is. It's like the rear end, but it's more like a sketch for myself, so I'm not trying to communicate with somebody random to understand what type of car it is. It's just finding an idea like we did here. So this is how the dirty sketches happen. Like you are just experimenting, you are searching for something new. And for example, this rear light idea and this negative surface together is something interesting. I might put it in a different way. I can clean it, fix the perspective, proportions, everything on another sketch. But while being creative, you can totally go dirty and even wrong on perspective and proportions. It's okay to do that. Let's put 6 air outlets. V6 would be very small for Lambo. At least V10 it should be, right? So what if we exaggerate to V8 and one more V10 just to have connection to the mechanical part again. All right. So we are filling up the page. This is how it happens. We started just one sketch. We have a couple of empty zones here. Maybe think about this graphic now. Maybe I can do full rear view now. Like this is the middle, the center line. Let's put the logo to make it sure. This is the fender, so going a little bit of inside, more like GT style. The shoulder line, and maybe this is the roof. And maybe now I feel like I need to push this more up, so the logo goes up as well. And here now I can put this rear light graphics. Of course the proportions are also changed so it feels different, which is fine. I can say this is the negative surface now, some alternative. Oh, inside of this Y-shaped rear light it can be the air outlet. So you see how did it happen? It just happened kind of coincidence while sketching, so the sketch also guided me. It's not like I have a clear image in my mind and then I just put it on paper. It's more like happens together, like you think something, you start sketching, and then you see something else and it affects your design. So here, what else we can add? Maybe here on this one it was like that, but I don't feel it would fit in this proportions, so I will not add it. What if we, or actually let's just put the diffuser like this. Exaggerated tires getting out of the body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What if we have like 6 air exhaust pipes? 3 here, 3 here. I don't know, go crazy, go stupid. Do weird things on your own personal sketches. Why not? Why to try to be correct all the time, This is at the end a creative journey. So feel free and be brave. Not all the sketches here are good or the same type of quality, but I would say this page is done. And let me see now. Yeah, I need to zoom out a little bit to take a look at it. And it's been like 24 minutes, 25 minutes of sketching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I like this perspective. Like, I think it fitted well. It doesn't always fit that nicely. I do also perspective mistakes. It's not like once you learn, it's done. You need to redo things. I like this one as well. This is too traditional. It's like Murcielago. It was the warm-up sketch. You see how we evolved? Like, this one was very traditional, not that interesting. Then we got something, then push on different directions. The GT would be cool. I like this rear. It can be, I think, very modern, interesting form can be done here, so I can keep this in mind. Right, not bad at all. I really like these sketches. I hope you enjoyed it as well. I like sharing this real-time process because I literally like put everything in my brain into paper and to the video. If you want to learn more the basics, as I said before, you can learn from my online courses at bradkaplan.com. And if you want to see another real-time video, here is for you.